thanks for joining me today. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within, and thanks for joining the Hatha Yoga class today. So we will, first of all, as always, remember that you're responsible for your practice. If you have any injuries or any concerns, always better to check with your doctor first before you join in the practice. Otherwise, today we'll start in a lying down position if that's comfortable for you. If you prefer sitting up, by all means, sit up. If you are lying down and you need to bend your knees for your back, bend your knees. If you need a little bit of support under the head, feel free to use your blankets or your blocks. Just start by taking a long, deep breath in and a long letting go exhalation. Just letting the body soften, receiving the support of the ground beneath you. Start to notice your breath. Trying not to judge your breath, just noticing it. Let the mind follow the gentle rhythm of the breath, each breath in and each breath out. Not forcing the breath, just allowing the breath. Feeling the front body move to the back body, and the back body release and surrender. Breath by breath, taking a moment to find yourself in the here and the now. Just slowly allowing the awareness to return. And some gentle movement to find its way back into the body. Just by moving fingers and toes. Start to move into the wrists and ankles, making circles as large as you can without causing yourself any pain, and going both directions with those circles. Let some gentle movement come into the neck, just letting the head go side to side, but also up and down. Just notice, how does my neck actually feel today? Good if you are in a seated position, find yourself onto the mat now. And then take a really big, deep breath in and just tighten your body as fully and completely as you can. And a big, long, loud, letting go exhalation as you release. Try that one more time. Find the tightness in the body, tightening everything you can. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your jaw. And let go. Now let the knees bend. Let them rock a bit from side to side, keeping your arms in that position that allows the upper back, the front body to open, whether it's in a T, a goalpost, or hands on the belly. Your movement can be slow. It can be a little more dynamic. It's just really exploring what you need as you start to warm the body up for your practice. Let the movement stop. Bring the knees up into the chest, interlacing your fingers around the shins or the backs of the thighs or holding the feet. Keeping your head down as you start, keep your chin tipped in, and just explore moving the knees and feet farther apart, moving the knees and feet together. Where does that massage occur in the spine? How does it feel in the belly area? Do you find yourself holding your breath or forcing your breath? Or can you just allow your mind to follow the subtle rhythm of your breath? Then pause at the center, everything close together or far apart. And now if you do want to bring the nose up to the knees, bring the nose up to the knees. But if you're feeling pain anywhere, just change it and make it what you need to challenge yourself without hurting yourself. Then let the head come down. Place the feet on the floor. You can do this knees bent if your back bothers you, or straighten out the legs. Slide the arms along the ground until they're at that position, so they could be above the head, but if everything's off the ground, open them up a little wider. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, bring that right thigh to the chest. Interlace the fingers, shin or back of thigh for knees, and then stretch out. Your next exhale, bring the left thigh into the chest and open. Repeat it again, right side. If you do want to add nose to knee, by all means, add it. And then left thigh on the exhale. So that was twice to each side. If you can repeat it 4 more times on each side, do that. If that's too many or not enough, do whatever you need. Just warming up hips and shoulders and spine, moving into the core of the body a bit, massaging into the internal organs. You know, I'll remind you to breathe. If you happen to inhale when the thigh comes to the chest, nothing will happen. But that exhale just massages into the internal organs a bit, squeezes all the air out of the lower abdominals, massaging into that area where we tend to hold a lot of emotions, that solar plex area just above the navel. Try as best you can to do an equal number on each side. And when you finish, pause, bend the knees. Once more, let them rock a bit from side to side. Now, you may prefer just continuing this, or thighs to chest, or some of you may want to move into a happy baby. Just make sure the baby's happy, the neck's not all strained. I know some of you want to grab your feet, but then the neck is compromised, the low back's off the floor. Give yourself the biggest challenge you can, knowing what this posture is meant to be doing for you. You might want to add some rocking, and then bring your feet to the floor. Now, you may find that the use of a strap or the belt of your bathrobe or something is what you need here. If you don't need anything, then that's fine. And just start with both knees bent. Lift your right foot off the floor. Interlace your fingers around the back of the thigh and stretch that leg up. If the back doesn't hurt, then straighten the left leg. And again, if you can't do that, use the strap here. So you are pressing the back of the thigh or that hamstring area into your hands. Your shoulders are softening down the mat. And that right hip, if it's lifting up, you're pressing it down. It may look more like this with the knee bent. Press the back of the thigh towards the wall in front of it. Use your breathing. If it doesn't feel like effort, well, then it probably isn't. So, change it and keep breathing. Chin tips down, just maintaining the natural curve of your spine, which includes your neck. The shoulders, you feel the action in the shoulders. And again, the core of the body, top and bottom half, connects right there at the center. So you're strong here. There's not that overarch in the back. In a perfect world, you may hold this even for 2 minutes, but I feel like if I did that here, you'd all be going and having a coffee or maybe a mimosa, who knows? Good. Keep breathing. Take 2 more breaths in and 2 more breaths out. Make sure you're using your toes on both feet. And then let the movement stop, holding the back of the thigh. Draw the thigh into the chest. Let the heel drop down. Good. Extending that leg back up. Open up that right arm to the floor. And draw that right leg over towards the left shoulder. Good. So if you're going farther, there's a good chance that right glute is off the floor. You can even take the right thumb and hook it in the glute and drop it down. Some of you will reach the toe. There's no need to hold the back of the thigh. Your head can go left, right, or center. Where does it benefit you? So again, if you're finding the hip dropping up, retract, bend the knee, drop the hip down, and then begin to straighten the leg. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Bring it back to the center. Bend the knee slightly, moving the hip in the socket. Now take the right hand to the right calf or ankle or use your straps. Left palm can be on left thigh or on the ground. And you start moving the hip in the socket as you bring that right knee towards the armpit. And then you begin to straighten the leg to where you can straighten it. Some of you may need to hold the back of the thigh. Some of you may be using straps. Some of you may be able to straighten the leg. Now, if the hip is just all over the place, drop it down and try to maintain the core strength. So if you find yourself in a back bend position or that left glute lifting off the floor, you are working more into flexibility and forgetting about the strength. Bring it back to the center. Interlace your fingers the opposite way to the back of that leg. Tip your chin down, stay here. Or some of you may want to peel the torso up off the floor. Lower the head down. Bend the left knee. Bend the right knee and put the right ankle on the left thigh. Open your arms to a T or a goalpost position. And now you are moving into a twist to the left. So you roll to the pinky toe side of the left foot and bring the right foot towards the floor. Turn your head right, left, or look center. If the right foot doesn't come to the floor, you may find that you need a blanket under the foot. If you find this right glute heavily lifting, think about dropping the glute or the hip down. You can even take the right thumb and hook it in the right hip. Work into your breath. Extend through the fingers. Actually feel what you're doing with your shoulders. And then bring it back to the center. Uncross that right ankle. Bring your thighs into your chest. Or some of you may find, again, happy baby's what you need. Don't shy away from the use of props. Props actually make us more accountable and tend to make us work a little harder in a position that works into our greatest strength. Some of you may want to lift the head off the floor. Try to keep that low back down. Then bring the head down. Stretch the legs up. Slide the legs together. And then bend the knees, put the feet on the floor, or lower the legs straight down. Bend both knees. And now we'll move to the other side. So you extend the left leg up, interlace the fingers behind the back of the thigh. If you find that hip hiking up, drop it down. Imagine that I gave you a foam block to hold between the inner upper thighs. Now, if you feel like you can straighten the right leg, straighten it. Draw the shoulders down and just check out your foundation, which is anything on the ground. Is the weight even on both glutes, on both shoulders? Although you have one leg in the air and one leg on the ground, how can you even out that uneven? You're pressing the back of the thigh into the hands, creating that resistance as you pull the hands towards the chin or towards, your head. You can bend the knee if you like. Try to smile. Notice what you're feeling. If you find yourself going into that back bend, because I see some of you doing that, find the core of the body. Engage into the core of the body. Good. Keep your breathing. Do the work through the center of the body. Remember, if you feel nothing, that's probably what you're doing. Put some, as Gerda would say, my teacher, put some effort into it. And then you can bend the knee, bring the thigh in towards the chest. Now you move the hip in the socket. You're drawing over that diagonal. So you can take the left thumb, hook it in the left hip, and begin to straighten. Keep in mind, straighten is different for all of us. Again, if the hip's hiking up and the foot's moving too far over, you're trying to move into either flexibility or pain. Some of you may hold the leg. Do what feels good for you. Try not to let the leg go past that right shoulder side of the body. Head can go left, can go right, can stay center, and it will change the stretch you're getting. Remember, that right knee can bend and the foot can be on the floor if that is what's better for you. Keep breathing. That hip is dropping down. You're not in a back bend position. You don't have an overarch in your back. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. Think about dropping that hip. You bring it back to the center. Pause, press the back of the thigh. Move the hip in the socket. Your left hand can grab the ankle or the calf. Your right hand can be on the ground or on the thigh. Draw the thigh in, draw the knee towards the armpit, and then take the leg out. Again, if that glute is lifting off the floor, you want to try to keep the weight even on everything that's on the ground, which is shoulders, hips, head left, right, or center, palm down, palm up. If a goalpost arm is what you need, or palm on the thigh, then honestly, do what challenges you the most. The idea in yoga is that we create change, transformation, without moving into the most pain possible. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. Bring it back to the center. Pause, pressing the thigh away. You may find that you want to lift the torso up off the floor here. Head comes down, the right knee bends, the arms open to where you need them to be, and that left ankle comes onto the right knee. You roll to the pinky toe side of the right foot as you bring the left foot sole towards the floor. And again, if it doesn't land on the floor, using a prop under that foot. You can always take the left thumb, hook it in the left hip if it's hiking up. Draw it down. Head left, right, or center. Use your breathing. Some of you, I didn't show you this on the other side, but some of you may want to use that right hand just to lightly. Use it as a bit of resistance, not force. Work with your breathing, just noticing your breath, not forcing it. But do you find yourself holding your breath? Your breath tells you your story. And our breath is our connection to life. So use your breath in a positive way. One more breath in, one more breath out. Bring yourself back to the center. Pause. Take that foot down. Rock it out. So again, you may need your feet farther apart. And then you may want to go into happy baby. You may just need thighs to chest. What is it you need? You might want to add nose to knees. Who knows? You might not. Bring the torso down if it's up. If your back or tailbones bother you, drop your knees to the side and come up to a seated position. Otherwise, go into a few of these spinal bogs. Keeping your chin tipped down a little bit. Keep your breath. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Remember, I'm one person cueing you. The best teacher in the room is you. So listen to you and the cues your body gives you. Once you get to that seated position, adjust the glutes. If you need to sit up on these blocks or a blanket to lift your hips, to tilt the pelvis, that's what I suggest for you to do. It'll get the movement more in the hip creases than at the bottom of the rib cage. Bring some movement into the spine, going in circles. Either keep the glutes rooted, or maybe it's a day to rock from glute to glute. As I said, you're your own greatest teacher, and each time you come to the mat, It is a whole new experience. Go the other way. Work with your breath. And come back to the center and move yourself into the forward fold that feels the best for you. If you do need to stretch your legs out, stretch them out. If you find your glutes lifting off the floor, shift them back. You can stack your head on the fist. You can walk your arms out. When the arms walk out, use your hands to press the hips back. And then curl yourself up. Bring the shoulders, roll them back, and roll them forward. Bring the knees up, stretch the legs out, and bounce into the knees. Rock it out a bit. Adjust the glutes, bend the knees, and take yourself forward. So as you come forward, your fold may feel better here, or walking your legs forward and the hips back. Draw your shoulders. Your legs can be side by side, or if it's back and hamstrings, move them farther back. You can always interlace your fingers in front of your feet. As I said, challenge yourself without hurting yourself. Use your straps if you like. And then walk yourself up. Roll your shoulders a few times back, a few times forward. Bend the right knee. Let the knee drop down. Place the foot sole against the left inner thigh. You can put props under the knees and reposition the glutes. Walk the body forward. If it's better to start with the knee bent, start with the knee bent. Remember, the leg might be straight here, rounding, but if you really want to start creating change through the hamstrings, through the hips, through the spine, start with the knee bent. Get the bend in the hip crease and deepen it to where you can go here. Keep breathing. Press the big toe mound, little toe mound away. Draw the 6 toes towards you. And walk yourself up. Put the right foot sole on the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Opposite hands, so left to right. Right goes behind. Fingertips are not there to lean on. They're just there to help you lengthen your spine. In fact, you can even put the hand in the low back if you like. Work with your breathing. If you find yourself really leaning back, try to slide the right foot farther forward. You want the weight to be even on both glutes. Bring yourself back to the center. Bend the left knee, put the heels on the floor. Either take yourself forward as you did last time, or some of you may be able to start to straighten the legs and bring yourself forward with the arms up. Walk the body out a step or two. Either walk yourself up or extend the arms forward and come up with the ears between the arms. Lower the arms, bend the left knee. Try to do it without your hands if you can, and drop the knee down. Reposition the glutes, bend the right knee, take the body forward, or take the body forward with the legs straight. Shoulders drop. Try to keep the weight as even as you can. The tendency is to shift all the weight, and I see some of you doing it, over onto your right hamstring. Try to keep the weight as even as you can. Work with your breath. And then bring yourself up. Put the left foot on the floor. Interlace your fingers, sit up. Opposite hand, so right to left. Left can come behind. Remember, where you put your hands, it's not meant to be forceful. You can just use them for a little bit of support. Work with your breath again. If you're leaning back, it might just be repositioning that left foot down the mat towards the right heel. Use your breath. You can turn your head. Just make sure that the turning is a benefit in the neck, not creating snake bite. And bringing yourself forward. Either bend the knees or bring the arms up. Take yourself forward here. Draw the shoulders down. And either walk yourself up or extend the arms forward. Bring yourself all the way up. Bring the arms down, roll the shoulders back, swing your legs over, come onto your hands and knees. It's good. Tuck your 10 toes under. And as you inhale, lift the tail, expand the belly, lift the chest, lightly squeezing the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, tuck the tail, squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals. Do that a couple more times, remembering that the movement originates at the base of the spine. The head's the last thing to move. You might need the hands a little farther apart for the shoulders. Breathing, move as fast or as slow as you need to move for your spine. The next time you're in the rounded position where you squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals, drop the bottom back towards the heels and stay there, or lift the knees and find downward dog. Walk the downward dog out. And bring yourself back down onto your knees, keeping the toes tucked. Come all the way up onto the knees. If you need padding under your knees, by all means, use your blankets, double up your yoga mats. Know what you need. Remember, the journey is yours, so pay attention to your needs. As we move into camel pose, which is a back bend, think about drawing the legs inwards, the toes tucked, give you the added bonus of toe torture. The thighs press forward. You lift the thighs up. Roll the shoulders back. Hands can be on the glutes, on the backs of the thighs. Gaze can be down at the tip of the nose to where the floor and the baseboard meet. Or you can use the strength of your legs, lengthen your neck, look up. Remember, back bends are stimulating postures. They open the front body. They strengthen the spine. They come from using the strength in the legs. Use your glutes without overusing them. And an inhalation brings you up. Put the tops of the feet on the floor. Start shifting the hips back to child's pose. You can open the knees wider, drop the bottom to the heels. Stack the fists, resting the head on the fists. You can always put blankets under the backs of the thighs, resting on the calves if this helps. You can always go to downward dog if that feels better, or go onto your back and bring the thighs into the chest. If you're not feeling dizzy, if there's not any blood pressure issues, you can always put the head on the floor and bring the hands to the feet. Bring yourself back to the tabletop position. Tuck your 10 toes and bring yourself back up. Roll the shoulders a few times back. Start opening the chest. Remember, adjust your posture from the foundation. So don't try to adjust from the head down. The foundation here is your feet and your knees. Lift up. Roll the shoulders. You can repeat it exactly like you did the last time. There may be some of you who want to reach back and hold the heels. There will be some of you who reach back and I see you go like this. It's no longer a back bend. It's usually a wrist jam and a quad stretch. The idea is that the hips move forward. You're lifting up out of the low back. Don't strive to grab the heels. Know what this posture is meant to do for you, and know if you're practicing non-harming and kindness to yourself. And very often what we find is our ego gets in the way, but if we actually let go of our heels, we find our greatest strength. An inhalation brings you up, might be an exhale. Tops of the feet perhaps go to the floor. Bottom comes back to heels. You may prefer knees and feet together this time. Stacking fists, palm to palm, or arms back to feet. What is really best for you? Good. Bring yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders back. If you find it uncomfortable to sit in this position where you're sitting on the heels, The options are, if you happen to have a block or a blanket, you can sit on it. Just putting it underneath the bottom and sit here. You can use rolled up props on the calves. You can simply sit cross-legged or stretch your legs out. Now you may find that a strap is useful here for chest expander. If not, you don't have to use it. The arms come up, you open, bring the arms back. You either hold your strap here, squeezing the shoulder blades, not going into a back bend. You tuck the tail slightly, breathing, opening the front body. If you're not using the strap, it will look like this, bringing the palms together as though you were trying to create one arm. Keeping the bottom on whatever you're sitting on, so the floor, your heels, lean slightly forward, keep the neck in line with the spine, lift the arms. Breathe here. Keep breathing, hips press back, they're not lifting up. Bring yourself all the way up. Release your arms with a strap, give yourself a big hug, move the shoulders, and then open and give yourself a big hug the other way. Move those shoulders. Place the hands on the ground, come up. If you were sitting on the tops of your feet, tap them out. Try not to drop your heads, they're heavy. Build some strength in the neck. And then sit yourself back down. If you were cross-legged, cross your legs the opposite way. So option being exactly what you did before. Bringing the arms up, opening, rotate the shoulders, either hold the straps. Otherwise, interlace your fingers the opposite way and lift the arms. Breathe here. Bring the body forward, use the core strength. If you feel strain in the neck, you're looking up and you're creating that compression. If this is enough, stay here. But remember, you want your bottom connected to whatever you're sitting on. If you can come forward, I see some of you lifting your bottoms, drop them down. Otherwise, come all the way forward. Now, a block under the head would be helpful, a blanket. Otherwise, if there's not blood pressure issues, drop the head down. Some of you, the arms might go to the floor over the head. Let those bottoms come down. And then keeping the arms lifted, bring yourself all the way up. Pause, opening up that front body without being in the back bend. And release. Wrap those arms around, move your shoulders. Open again. Big hug. Massage those shoulders. Bring yourself up onto tabletop, tapping into the tops of the feet. Back to child pose or tuck the toes, bottom back into downward dog. What would be a better benefit for you? Walk it out. Good, bringing yourself back down onto your hands and knees. Remember, pad the knees if you need. It's good, keep the breathing. So tops of the feet actually tuck the left toes under, top of the right foot's on the floor. Slide the left leg back. Take the left leg over to the right, tuck the toes and press back. Open the shoulders and look all the way back over that right shoulder to the left heel. Good. Bring your gaze back to the center. If that's enough, stay there. Otherwise, see if you could lift your right arm up off the floor. Rotate the shoulder so the palm comes up. Bring the arm in the low back and open up to a twist to the right, pressing strongly back through the left heel. Unlock your left arm. You can look up to the ceiling if your balance is good. And then release the hand and the gaze. Slide the leg back. Bring the nose and the knee towards each other. Bring the knee down. Either send the hips back to child's pose if you need a rest for your wrist. Otherwise, go up and back to downward dog and walk it out. You know you better than anyone. And if you don't, now's the time to discover how you are today. It's good. Bring yourself down, top of the left foot to the floor, right toes tuck, stretch the leg back. Take the right leg across to the left, keep the toes tucked, press back through the leg, straightening the leg as much as you can. Squeeze your inner thighs. Turn the head, look over the left shoulder, looking back towards the right leg. Breathing, make sure the weight's even on everything on the ground. Is there any weight at all in that left foot? Otherwise, it's probably in the left knee. Good, breathing. If you like, lift the left arm, turn the palm up, rotating the shoulder, bring the arm in the low back, and open up into that left twist, pressing strongly out through the right heel. Breathing. And then release the hand back down. Slide the leg back, round, release the back, making sure you haven't strained anything. Knee down, same option, downward dog or child's pose, whatever is best for you. Walk it out. It's good, bringing the knees to the floor. Lift the right leg out to the side, just that fire hydrant position. It's good, do it about 3 times. Drop the shoulders. Bring the knee down and do the left side. Try to do the same number to each side. Try to keep the right hip above the right knee. Keep strength in the head or in the neck. Don't let the head hang. And then bring the knee down, downward dog or child's pose. It's up to you. Walk it out. Bring the knees to the mat. Now the option here is to repeat exactly what you did in a tabletop position. Otherwise, toes tucked, bottom heels to heels, enter into downward dog. Perhaps moving the feet a little farther apart than you normally would have them. Bend both knees slightly. Lift the right foot off the floor, bend the knee. And do the hip openings here in downward dog. Try not to turn it into a twist. Keep the shoulders even. Keep the neck long. Breathe. Try one more. Lower the foot down. Send the hips up and back. And then try the other side. Left knee, foot lifts, knee bends. Open, open. Try not to thrust that right hip over. Think about what you're doing. What's the benefit? Breathing. Once you feel like you've done about the same number, stop. Walk it out. Go to child's pose if you like. And then find your way into a standing forward fold. If you know that a half fold is what you need for your back, hamstrings, or if you're feeling dizzy, then that's what you should do. If you know Pada Hastasana, you turn the hands, palms up, slide the palms under the soles of the feet, fingers point back to the heels. You can move the feet farther apart. You might need them hip width apart. Let the elbows bend. The head hangs. The breath is present. You can do this with the knees bent to the face parallel to the floor as well. Keep breathing. It is a challenge for balance for most of us. Work all those pressure points in the palms and in the soles of the feet, especially after you've just done a lot on your hands and knees. Then release the hands, either walk the hands up the legs or put the hands on the hips and bring yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders back, roll them forward, and then just let the arms swing as you go back and forth from your toes to your heels without thrusting the bottom back and the pelvis forward. Think about being solidly connected, top and bottom half of the body. Then start with your feet about hip width apart. You can adjust, it's your posture, so it's your foundation adjusted. So the foundation of standing is the feet. If your shoulders hurt at all while we're doing these, just put your hands on your hips. Otherwise, bring the right arm up, hold the arm below the elbow or above or the wrist, and bend. Use your breathing. Keep your breath. Come all the way up. Release the arms. Other side. Bending, breathing. See if perhaps you can even frame your head between your arms. All the way up. Release. Feet come a little wider apart. Outside edges of the feet parallel. Coming back up. And over, draw your legs in towards each other. Use your breath, not a twist, but a side bend. Back up, release, other side, over, breathing, breathing, up, release, over a little wider, outside edges of the feet parallel, coming up, and over. Keep the breath. Up. Release. Last time, other side. Draw the legs in. Remember, so important to work both strength and flexibility. Back up. Release. Hands come to hips. Take the left foot, turn it out. Lift the right heel so you're in a high lunge position here. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Stay strong in the core of the body. Right knee comes down. Top of the foot to the floor. Lean forward. If you need blocks under the hands, by all means. Send the hips back, lifting the left foot up off the floor. So, what is a straight leg for you? Use your breathing. Bring yourself back. Bring the arms here or up. Keep your breath. Coming down. Sending the hips back. Coming back up. Use your breath. Don't lift the arms if it's hurting neck or shoulders. Try not to swing the hip out to the side. Send it right back. Good. Coming up. You can place the hands on the hips. Right toes tuck. Lift the knee. Breathing. Straighten the front leg. Good. Bring the hands to the hips. Other foot, left foot turns out, lift the right heel, pivot, come into the high lunge on the other side. So make the adjustments you need. Use your breathing. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Not a back bend. Keep the breath, hands to hips, arms here. You can have them up if you like. Back knee comes down. Top of the foot to the floor. You can use the padding under the knees. Hips go back. If you can't get the hands to the floor, you have Kleenex boxes or blocks or something you can use them. Hip goes back. Again, not shoving the hip over to the side. Try to send it straight back. Coming back, hands to hips, arms here or up. Keep breathing that action of front hip back, back thigh forward, and back down. Know how many times you did it on the other side and try for the same. Big toe mound presses forward, hip draws back, and you feel the stretch in different places in your leg, depending on the actions that you're doing in your body. So know why you're doing what you're doing so that you find your greatest strength and the stretch that you need. Keep your breath. Back. And coming up, if you need more, do more. Back toes tuck. Back knee lifts, breathing here. Straightening the front leg, turning the feet, hands to hips, knees bend. So I know my feet are too wide apart. I heel toe my feet in. Place the elbows on the thighs. Relax your neck if you're feeling any strain on the neck. Palm to palm, thumb rests on sternum. Weight goes one way, other leg straighten. Back to the other side, breathing. Back to the center. Once more on each side. Keep that straight leg. Keep the toes rooted evenly. Big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel. Back to center. Pause. Don't rush to get to the destination. Pay attention to the journey. That transfers off our mat into our daily life. Good. Bring yourself up. Extend the arms. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Arms up or hands to hips, coming into a half or a full fold. What truly would be best for you today? Walk it out a bit. Either walk the hands up the legs or walk the fingertips forward, turn the palms to face each other, and use the strength of the legs to bring you up. Try not to use the neck and the shoulders. Move yourself to the front of the mat. Place the hands on the hips and have your feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Keep your breathing. Keep your left foot where it is. Step your right leg back. Breathe. Step the right foot forward. Rest in your chair. Hands to hips. Repeat the same thing, or step the right leg back. Extend the arms forward. Open the arms. Arms forward. Step back to chair. Repeat hands to hips or arms forward, or bring the arms up. Step the right leg back. Open the arms. Arms up. Step back to chair. Hands to hips. Left leg goes back. Ooh, lost my balance. Good, breathing. If you feel your back, perhaps you've lost that core connection, or perhaps you're twisting through the hips. Think about the stability. Step back to chair. So repeat that again, or this time, arms forward. Step the left leg back. Open the arm. Bring the arms forward. Sit back in your chair, relax. So 2 options with a third, arms up. Step back. Arms lower. Arms up. Step back to chair. Breathe in your chair. Fold halfway or all the way forward. Perhaps Padangustasana, the peace fingers under the big toes, thumbs touching, elbows bending. You can also do it with the knees bent. Know why you're doing what you're doing. You may even want to walk it out a bit. A retraction and a straightening can allow you to find depth. Either walk the hands up the legs or extend the arms forward. Use the strength of your legs to bring you up. Lower the arms down. Arms come up or hands to hips. Bend left. Keep the weight on the right foot. Don't shift it all left. Coming back up, go to the other side. Coming back up, add a back bend. Hands can be on the hips. Remember, it's your practice. Neck is strong. Don't just let it fling back. Build the strength all the way up. Bend the knees, lower the arms, shoulder height. Release the back bend in this chair position. Go all the way forward. If you can, place the hands on the floor beside the feet. So bend the knees if you need to. Step back to downward dog. If you prefer tabletop, by all means go there, to child's pose even. Walk this downward dog out. You can stay there, or you can lift your right leg off the floor, point the toes, open up to the right, looking under the right armpit, and bend that right knee, dropping the heel over. Square everything up, release the leg. If you need child's pose between, by all means. Otherwise, left leg lifts, toes point, open to the left, look under the left armpit, bend the knee. Breathing. Bring everything back. Lower the leg down. Send the hips up and back. If you're in tabletop, go to child's pose. And then find your way into a standing forward fold. Walk the hands up the legs, or this time take them to the side and come all the way up. Lower the arms to shoulder height. Lift the heels. If a squat is not an appropriate thing for you to do, sit down however you like. Otherwise, come down into your squat. Lower to the heels and then to the bottom. Bring your hands down and readjust. So you may need to swing the hips back, move the heels forward, come into the forward fold that feels right for you. So for some of you, it could be quiet pose, where you clasp the elbows but open the shoulders. Walk the heels out. Walk the glutes back. Don't be afraid of a little bit of movement. For some of you, if it does feel beneficial to hang the head, hang it. But if it's just causing you strain, why do it? Create change that is positive, not change that creates pain. Forward folds are calming for the central nervous system, but you do need to breathe. Don't force the breath, but have awareness to I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Slowly bring yourself back up. Roll the shoulders back a few times, forward a few times. Bring yourself down onto your mat however you like. So it can be lie down. Some of you may like some more of those spinal rocks because I know they're so much fun. But you know, if they're causing you pain, especially in the back, tailbone, or in the neck, you really need to check in with yourself and know, why am I doing that? Once you get down on your back, bring your knees into your chest. Support the head if you need to. Readjust the neck. Have that natural curve so you're not straining and compressing. You might want child's pose. Just see what feels good for you. That rocking even. You may want to stretch the legs straight up. Hold the calves. Use your straps. Lift the torso up off the floor, drawing the shoulders out of the ears. Lowering the head down. You can either lower the legs straight down or bend the knees if the back hurts, and then lower the feet down. Once you're all the way down, take a long, deep breath in and just tighten everything as tight as you can. And let it go. Try that one more time. Tighten up your whole body. And let it go. Take a moment, just give yourself any last stretches that you might need so that you can prepare the body for Shavasana. Once you're ready to move into Shavasana, find your most comfortable position. If you need support under the knees, either use a bolster or a blanket or bend the knees. But just come to that place where you can reconnect with you, replenish, nurture your body, your mind, your spirit. I inhale peace. I exhale to release. I give my body and my mind permission to soften and let go. I try to allow the warmth of relaxation to move gently within me. If you need a few moments longer in Shavasana, please stay there and take this time just for you. If you know you're ready to find your way out and come back to a seated position, by all means, join me in a seated position. Take that long, deep breath in, full of gratitude to yourself and to your body. That long, deep breath out, full of gratitude to yourself and to your body. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste. Don't forget to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel and enjoy all the other classes our instructors have put there for you. Have a good day.